What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more of The Cure, and we're continuing through the 1985 album The Head on the Door. I did just want to reiterate how much I enjoyed last week's tune, In Between Days, which if you saw that reaction, you'll know it instantly evoked nostalgic memories and made me realize I had in fact heard it despite not recognizing the title in advance. And a couple of you commented that that may happen in the successive songs and even albums that we have ahead of us, and a number of you mentioned that this is a period where they were in a rich vein of form and just making delicious pop songs. So yes, I'm very much looking forward to that. I am aware of a couple more tunes that I have heard, and it's been a great joy not only to chart the evolution of their sound up to this point, but to recognize that without it being an overt, explicit process like with Depeche Mode or Yazoo or Erasure, The Cure very much were part of my musical education and experience in my single-digit years. So yes, I'm looking forward to more. The next track on this album is Kyoto Song. Now Kyoto, it's one of the major cities of Japan during a large part of its, what is often called its medieval history. It was, in fact, the capital, the main political and cultural locus of the country, though in later centuries it was supplanted by or rendered secondary to Tokyo. Nevertheless, there are many shrines of particular cultural and religious significance, especially in Shinto, but also there are major aspects of Japanese history that still comprise part of Kyoto, and of course it is a major tourist destination, not just internationally but even for people within Japan. I don't quite know what to expect here, but maybe it will play off of that historical and cultural significance, but of course it might be about a particular experience or narrative for The Cure specifically, or a character, a narrator of the tune, and it might just therefore be a backdrop. Nevertheless, it is very specific, and there's no other indication of what might be happening because it is just a two-word phrase. So I'll see what I can catch on a first listen. This is The Cure. The track is Kyoto Song, and it's from their 1985 album The Head on the Door. Well, it's a very enjoyable tune. I'll admit, lyrically, I don't quite know what's happening. I certainly caught bits and pieces, and it sounds like it is setting a particular scene. The idea of waking up with a stranger next to you and eating a food, whether, like, specifically a particular type of Japanese cuisine, but that, doesn't even taste like anything from this world and has a certain texture that's like skin, and apparently that is informing his understanding of what it's like to be this other person. So, yes, it feels very specific, but I don't quite know how it all stitches together and whether it is autobiographical and, relates to Robert's experience in Japan. Sonically, it very much sounds like a mixture of Cure stylings that I've become familiar with, that deep and sort of driving yet brooding bass line, and Robert's sonorous vocals, which is to say he is very much singing more in a melodic vein, less eccentrically, less intensely, and definitely there's some conceptualization going on where he's talking about, 1,000 voices all singing in tune and like whispered voices, and then he's flourishing melodically in multiple vocal lines after that, as if to give substance to what he's talking about. But there's also this East Asian, indeed Japanese folk, traditional, historical music vibe to this, and I don't know whether the main element in that regard is a plucked string instrument, which I'm failing to remember the name, but there's a pretty famous traditional Japanese instrument where it has many strings and is typically played in a plucked fashion, but at the same time it almost sounds like it's a struck melodic element, not unlike a xylophone where it's melody but it's with, struck rather than strummed or indeed picked or plucked. But yes, I feel like there is a deliberate attempt to merge some of their, let's say, typical sonic stylings with a very traditional folk East Asian Japanese style here. So yes, it sets the scene perfectly, and not just in terms of Kyoto or, like Japan more broadly in the present, in the 1980s, but it really does feel like a throwback, like the idea of feudal Japan, as it's often called. So yeah, I don't really know what's happening here narratively, but I definitely feel immersed in the type of cultural and historical environment that I think they're going for. So yeah, a really compelling tune, definitely different than something like In Between Days, where again it just has that like 80s nostalgic pop song feel, and it feels more like an artistic or, experimental type of track, but with recognizable Cure character or flavor. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Don't quite know what's happening. I look forward to hearing people comment. Do let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.